Welcome, one and all, to World in a Jar. I am your host, Kyoko. My goal is to take a word, concept, or idea and spin it into a story. Be it a character, NPC, group, city, you name it. And thus, that idea I create becomes my World in a Jar. Of course, they won't all fit in the same jar, so my selection is constantly growing every week. With many spices to choose from, locations, genres, heroes, villains, and tropes, I hope to give you a jar filled with fun and interesting concepts. We, I say, as in the royal we, are back with another solo episode. Vale is currently on vacation visiting our home state and their parents, so it's just me this week flying solo and bringing, once again, our special solo segment of Build-A-Bard. Now, for those that haven't seen the last episode or don't remember, as it was over a month ago at this point, the Build-A-Bard section is where you will go with me, World in a Jar's resident bard, through each of the bard subclasses to create a character or throw around some character ideas that you can use for your own bard of that specific subclass. Last time on Build-A-Bard, we rolled the College of Glamour out of the 8 total canon bard subclasses. I will say, I believe there is one more canon, maybe 2 more canon ones at this point, due to the 2024 D&D 5e Player's Handbook coming out. I have not looked at the new bard subclasses yet, but when I do, we might add them to Build-A-Bard, who knows? But that leaves us with 7 left if we take out Glamour. That leaves us with Creation, Eloquence, Lore, Spirits, Swords, Valor, and Whispers. Now, like I said last time, I have only played 3 of the 8 bard subclasses. I have only played Glamour very briefly so far. We are actually doing the main campaign of mine and Vale's 4 Elements world, where I am playing Estelle Farron, my Glamour bard. So Glamour, and then I have 2 Eloquence bards, Mithra Sonaire, who is my pride and joy. I have a cat named after her that you have seen, and oh, I love her so much. I love her so much. She's an NPC in the 4 Elements world now. So, yay. I have also played Kate Trell. He is my other Eloquence bard that I only got to play for a couple of sessions. He is so precious, and I hope to one day bring him back into another campaign. And then lastly is Safri Desmonday, little country College of Swords bard. She is absolutely precious, a little fire under her butt. Definitely does not hold her tongue when things make her mad or challenge her intellect or anything like that. So, if we roll a class I haven't done today, or roll a subclass that I haven't played today, it's gonna be a new experience for all of us. Alright, so I have my tried and true D8. This is actually the set that I used when playing Mithra, because we rolled physical dice for this set, for this game, despite playing over Discord. So I used this very nice shiny pink set with gold numbers, mostly because A, it was the one set that I had at the time that I hadn't used yet, and also as we went along, it started to remind me more and more of her psychic magic, as that was the main form of damage that she did, because bards deal a lot of psychic damage. So if you're going against an enemy that is resistant to psychic damage, let's hope your bard has other damage types. But either way, let's get rolling. We will ignore number 8 on this dice if we roll an 8. If we do end up rolling an 8, we will re-roll it to get something else. So, here we go. Let's see what we get. It's a 7. So that means we are doing Whispers. So, when it comes to Whispers is one that I am not really too familiar with. I do like Whispers. I really like the background around it, the things that Xanathar's Guide to Everything has really written about Whispers, College of Whispers bards. They give me sort of this, like, not really skeevy vibes, but really, sort of a bard that isn't afraid to use underhanded tactics and things, isn't afraid to use their naturally high charisma for things like intimidation and persuasion through fear and things like that. Really a bard that you can take in a much darker direction out of the gate. I mean, yes, of course, depending on your character's backstory and things like that, how you want to play your character, their alignment, and so on and so forth, the character can be dark no matter what bard college you pick. However, to me, College of Whispers sort of has that built into it. Mithra actually started out as a College of Whispers bard when I initially made her. I joined that campaign run by one of my best friends, Claire. I joined in at level 3. I either joined in at level 3 or level 5. I don't remember. Probably 3. I'll have to ask Claire. But I had initially picked College of Whispers for Mithra because I was like, oh, this is really cool. I want to explore this as my very first bard subclass. Didn't stick around very long. Claire, I did join at level 3 because Claire gave me until level 5 to solidify my bard college. So I think at level 4 or 5, I switched to Matt Mercer's College of the Maestro, and then around level 10, I want to say, later down the line, sort of like mid-campaign, Mithra actually went through a process that Claire and I discussed and everything of changing her bard college. That was when she went from College of the Maestro, where I didn't use any of those features, to College of Eloquence. But this is not an episode about Mithra. If you want an episode about Mithra, get this episode to 25 likes, and then I will make a whole episode about Mithra. Maybe I'll even have Ian, who played Lorik, and Claire, our precious DM, and maybe one other person from the campaign, so we can each talk about our characters and how they interacted with each other and just the story in general. But moving in to College of Whispers. According to dnd5e.wiki.com, College of Whispers it says, most folk are happy to welcome a bard into their midst. Bards of the College of Whispers use this to their advantage. They appear to be like any other bard, sharing news, singing songs, and telling tales to the audiences they gather. In truth, the College of Whispers teaches its students that they are wolves among sheep. These bards use their knowledge and magic to uncover secrets and turn them against others through extortion and threats. Many other bards hate the College of Whispers, viewing it as a parasite that uses the bard's reputation to acquire wealth and power. For this reason, these bards rarely reveal their true nature unless they must. They typically claim to follow some other college or keep their true nature secret in order to better infiltrate and exploit royal courts and other settings of power. So this is definitely what I would almost consider the tried and true, like, rogue-coded bard, almost. Because lots of rogues are typecasted to have very underhanded tactics and manipulating secrets out of people, or eavesdropping and sneaking in places to get secrets, things like that. Blending into the crowd, putting on different disguises, things like that. And while I said before, other bards can happily do that, College of Whispers already has that sort of, like, general lore built into it, right? So, going from there, of course there are 4 features of the subclass. So you have Psychic Blades at 3rd level. You gain the ability to make your weapon attacks magically toxic to a creature's mind. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 use of your Bardic Inspiration to deal an additional 2d6 psychic damage to that target. You can only do so once per round on your turn. And then, of course, the psychic damage increases when you reach certain levels. So with that, if you wanted to play a bard that was more centered on using their melee weapon, let's say rapier, short sword, long sword, things like that, you have that extra bonus to you where you can use your Bardic Inspiration to benefit yourself. Of course, you can use your Bardic Inspiration however you want to benefit your party members and things like that, but this gives you a way to benefit yourself to deal more damage to whoever is attacking you. And no one expects a bard, except for swords and valor, maybe, to use a melee weapon. So you could straight up claim that you are a College of Swords or College of Valor bard, or that you are, you know, another bard subclass that just prefers to use their melee weapon. Things like that. Also at 3rd level, you get Words of Terror. You learn to infuse innocent-seeming words with an insidious magic that can inspire terror. If you speak to a humanoid alone for at least a minute, you can attempt to seed paranoia and fear into its mind. At the end of the conversation, the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC, so your charisma plus your charisma modifier plus your proficiency plus 8, or be frightened by you or another creature of your choice. So you can make them frightened of you directly, or frightened of, let's say, the full-blooded orc barbarian fighter with a toxic blue tree frog on their shoulder, referencing Mithra's party again. I love Dirk, he's my son. The target is frightened this way for an hour until it is attacked or damaged, or it witnesses its allies being attacked or damaged. And of course, if they succeed on the saving throw, they have no hint that you tried to frighten it. It's different than suggestion, charm person, things like that, where they have, or zone of truth also, where they have knowledge that you are using that type of spell on them. And then you have Mantle of Whispers, things like that, where you can capture a dead humanoid's shadow, and then you can disguise yourself with that shadow and access all of the information that humanoid would freely share with an acquaintance, with a casual acquaintance. So, like, general details on background and personal life and things like that. It's really interesting. Another creature can see through this disguise by succeeding on a wisdom, specifically an insight check, contested by your deception check, and you gain a +5 bonus to your check. But of course, you can only have 1 shadow per short or long rest. And then, of course, at level 14, you get your last subclass feature, which is called Shadow Lore. You gain the ability to weave dark magic into your words and tap into a creature's darkest fear. That one, as I've never, gotten past a 3rd level College of Whispers bard, I'm actually really interested in this one, so I might make or use one of the Whispers bards that I make today. So, getting into the actual... Sorry, I need to take a drink. Dr. Pepper, please sponsor us. I love you, Dr. Pepper, please. But like I said, when I think of whispers, I think of bards that really aren't afraid to use these underhanded tactics. Again, like Glamour, another bard that is like really, that like exudes confidence. They they have this air to them where they're like, yeah, I know who I am. I know what I'm doing. Do you know what I'm doing? No. Um, so I would say let's make a bard that sorry, there are bugs. Let's make a bard that is gonna go a little typecasty, use the urchin or charlatan background. Can say that maybe they worked in a noble court or something like that, either as one of the staff, so like a chef, a maid, or a butler, right-hand person, I should say, gender neutral, right-hand person to one of the royal family members, things like that. And they come from this bardic background. Maybe their parents were bards and they attended, maybe the same bard college their parents did, just a lineage, not a noble lineage, but just a lineage in general of College of Whispers bards. Especially if you go like charlatan with this. You could even go guild artisan and do a very like con artist sort of guild artisan, and that would be really, really cool in my opinion. So yeah, let's go with them being like the right-hand person to, let's say, the prince of this royal family. So they would go with the prince everywhere. And they were in charge of protecting the prince and making sure the prince got to meetings and classes and things like that on time, making sure everything was organized and make sure the prince's life was as comfortable as possible. While doing that, this bard is utilizing their magic and things like that to, maybe at night or maybe when their prince is off doing something and has dismissed this bard from their role for however long the prince wants, nobles. This bard goes off and depending on the level, they use their words of terror to get secrets out of somebody, or they use their words of terror to fend off like intruders or potential assassins from their prince or from the royal family in general. They use their psychic blades when they have to fight, things like that. And then of course they have access to all of the other bard spells that you have access to, like Bard's Bread and Butter Vicious Mockery. You got Dissonant Whispers, you have Silvery Barbs if you're in a fight, whatever you take with magical secrets, things like that. Like you could take Eldritch Blast, you could take Tasha's Mind Whip, you could take Tasha's Caustic Brew, you could take Otto's Irresistible Dance, things like that. Like, I'm just throwing spells out there. You get to a higher level, you can take Psychic Scream and explode someone's head if you outright kill them with the damage. That's my favorite little tidbit in a spell. So like this bard is just utilizing their position of power to not only like benefit the royal family in keeping the prince happy and protected, but also gaining all of these noble secrets and secrets of like enemy clans and enemy kingdoms and things like that. Especially like if they're a higher level bard using shadow lore, You magically whisper a phrase that only one creature of your choice within 30 feet of you can hear. They have to make a wisdom save, and it automatically succeeds if it doesn't share a language with you or if it can't hear you. So that's a thing you have to keep in mind. On a successful save, your whisper sounds like unintelligible mumbling and has no effect. But if they fail, that creature is charmed by you for the next 8 hours, or until you or your allies attack or damage it. It interprets the whispers as a description of its most mortifying secret. While you gain no actual knowledge of the secret, the target is convinced that you know it. And while they're charmed, they obey your commands for fear that you'll reveal that secret. They won't risk their life for you or fight for you unless they're already inclined to do so, but they will grant you favors and gifts that they would offer a close friend. And when the effect ends, they have no understanding of why they were so scared of you. So you, if you're a level 14 or higher College of Whispers Bard, and at that point your spell save DC, if you've been boosting your charisma, is probably like 16, 17, 18, probably 16, 17, something like that. I don't remember what Mithra's was at that point. But you gain access to this person that is charmed by you, and not charmed by you by being enamored by you, or inspired by you, or being in love with you, or indebted to you. This person is terrified of you. They think that you know their deepest, darkest secret and will reveal it if they do not do what you want. So, imagine this noble's right-hand man, Bard, using this against, like, if they decide to betray their prince, using this against their prince. Or if they decide that they're going to stick to their word and their duty to protect their royal family, using this against an enemy king or prince or ruler, archfey, whatever, in any attempt to gain knowledge that, you know, hurts this other kingdom, benefits their own home kingdom, things like that. You can take this bard as being like this guard dog, almost. But not in the guard dog way that you would think like a fighter or a paladin or more melee-centric classes. A guard dog that utilizes their charisma and their inherent, I wouldn't say twisted eloquence, but it is a type of eloquence, I would say, that they use to extract knowledge, use it for their benefit, and keep people sort of under their thumb with fear. So they can take on sort of this this terrifying persona, utilizing intimidation, deception, persuasion, things like that, to do all sorts of things. Like, I feel like I would love to play this bard that is like undyingly like loyal to their prince and would do anything for them. Think like a person that comes to mind when I think undyingly loyal to their noble and would do anything for them is Sebastian from Black Butler. I know that makes me sound like, you know, kind of a weeaboo, but like, I love Sebastian. He would do absolutely anything for CL, and then, you know, CL would do absolutely anything, at least in the earlier seasons, I guess. I haven't seen past season 2. But CL would do anything for the crown. It's called the Queen's Guard Dog, and Sebastian is CL's guard dog. And like, Sebastian is very, like, eloquent, well-spoken, well-put-together, things like that. He is Ciel's right-hand man, his butler. But he is one of the scariest people you can come up against. Like, I mean, Sebastian is a literal demon. Like, that's the whole thing. Sebastian's a literal demon. Ciel sold his soul to Sebastian. Sebastian can't eat it yet. So you could always be like the bardified D&D version of Sebastian. I kind of want to do that, but if you want to do it too, go for it. Let me know if you do, because I want to see how you roll with Sebastian. But either way, that's our College of Whispers. Done. We are now down to just using a D6 for the next Build-A-Bard, guys. So, I will see you for the next Build-A-Bard, whenever that is, and we will hopefully be back next week with me and Vale. So, I think this is a great place to seal up this jar and put it on the market. If you liked this show, this special, or if you need any ideas, you can find me and Vale on Twitter at worldsinjars, or you can email us at worldinajar1@gmail.com. Vale and I usually end these episodes with a suggestion or something that we think you all should watch. Watch Black Butler. I guess if you want to, you can watch it in English or Japanese. J. Michael Tatum voices Sebastian in English, and I love J. Michael Tatum's voice. He is very funny, and his voice is very smooth. I think Daisuke Ono voices Sebastian in Japanese, which his voice is also amazing. So yeah, check that out. I really like Black Butler, and if you ever wanted to talk with me about it, we definitely can. And like I said earlier, if you want an episode or a little snippet of me talking about Mithra, my tried and true, potentially with some of my other party members, get this to 25 views. And like I said on the last one, if you want a video of me dancing to Fancy by Twice, get this one or the first episode to 50 views. But either way, do something good for yourselves, and we will see you next week. This episode was edited by Chris at ChrisRogersVO on Twitter. Go check him out. We love you, Editor Chris. Bye-bye.